Psychologists want to estimate the mean attention time given to twins per week by their parents. A sample of 46 twin boys is taken, and the attention time given to them by their parents in a week is recorded. The results are a mean time of 22.08 hours with a standard deviation of 16.34 hours. Construct a 90% confidence interval for the population mean attention time given to all twins. So I think what we found here in Unit 4 is basically just, knowing what you're being asked and finding the appropriate function within the calculator to arrive at your answer here. Especially when it comes to problems involving confidence intervals. There's really not a whole lot of setup or external work to be done. So what you need to recall is where those are located. So if you go under the Stat menu and over to Tests, you'll find your different functions that you need. The ones that we learned about, Z interval, T interval, and one prop Z interval. All right, so Z interval is a confidence interval for the mean, but it's using the normal distribution. T interval is also a confidence interval for the mean, but using a T distribution. And one prop Z interval is a population or an interval for proportions or percentages or probabilities, however you want to interpret that data. So we are working with a population mean is what we want to create an interval for. So that leaves us with choosing between Z and T. Now, the only reason that we would choose Z is if the population standard deviation was known, but that's not really present here. So we have a sample of 46 twin boys. The mean of that sample is 22.08. The standard deviation of that sample is 16.34. This is not a population standard deviation. This is a sample standard deviation. So we're going to be using T interval. All right, we don't have individual data items to work with, so we're going to go over here and select stats. And we need to get the mean of our data, and the mean from our sample was 22.08. So I'll put that in here. Sample standard deviation was 16.34. And the sample size was 46. We were given a 90% confidence interval to work with, confidence level to work with. So we'll input that and hit calculate. And that's going to give us the endpoints of our confidence interval. So we now have the endpoints of our interval. The proper way of rounding here is to just go back to whatever the accuracy of your mean and standard deviation were. So these are both to the nearest second decimal place. And so just round off both your answers to the nearest second decimal. So 18.03 and 26.13. So that is my confidence interval.